And welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we tell you the truth no matter how painful that truth may be. We are broadcasting live in Roseville, Minnesota. I'm Jake Duesenberg, your host. Welcome to the show, right? I guess. God, I was like fumbling the intro there.
Yeah, it's all good.
You know, there's this part to me that's like, why do I even do an intro? I don't need to do an intro. We can just go right into
right? Yep.
But I think it's for the new listeners. They're like, wow, what's going on here? And maybe we got to sound professional.
Oh, yeah.
So joining me, as usual, is Mr. Mega Jesse. How you doing there, buddy?
Yep, doing good. Lots of good stuff to get into. I guess we got Tucker and Billy22 in the comments here. We got, Tucker saying, good afternoon, everybody. Billy22, let's kick the tires and light the fires. And
that would have been a great intro. Is that like copywritten, like somewhere?
Yeah, I don't know.
Trademarked? I could tell I wasn't going to do that well on this show today before we went live.
Are you getting sick?
No, I just think that I just felt like I'm off, right? So we'll see if we can make it through the show. We can't not do the show because we're on episode 97. So that means next week 98, 99, and that leaves the last week of December for episode 100, which I think is an accomplishment. 100 episodes in a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like they were forced.
No.
They kind of came natural. Running the dials as usual, Mr. Deep State himself. Dawson, how you doing there, buddy?
Hi, guys. I'm good. A little bugging out a little, but otherwise doing great. Today's leg day.
Today is leg day. There you go. All right. Does that mean squats then?
Yeah, I can't do rack squats anymore because when I messed up my back a long time ago, so I'm doing pendulum squats now, which those are killer. They do a good job.
Do you know what a sissy squat is?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen one done.
Okay, I'll tell you about it after the show. We're gonna get into this Ireland.
Yeah,
See, that's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be off today. Ireland speech bill. Speaking of speech, I don't have it. Satanists in Iowa, an impeachment inquiry. Did you know there was an official vote in an impeachment inquiry?
Right, I know. What a
What
joke.
would Kevin McCarthy do 2 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
God, Zelensky's begging for the ATM to reopen up, and you got something in here about Cuomo. You said there's a girl that you don't believe has Tourette's. And she's
I'm not
punking
sure.
him?
I can't tell whether I buy it or not, so we might want to analyze it. I got sent that from Tucker, so
All right,
so
we'll analyze it
good
live.
thing on
Yeah,
that.
thank you, Tucker, for sending that to us. We watched like a second of it, and then this is something with Paul Ryan and Mike Johnson. What is this? The DC Drainos? Let's go to that right away.
Sure,
Is it
yeah.
a photo?
Yeah, line number 13 there, Dawson.
What do we have here?
Let's go ahead and check that out because it's an interesting thing where our speaker, Mike Johnson, was caught in the halls of Congress today with none other than Rhino Paul Ryan. I'm not exactly sure. What could they be meeting about? What could they be talking about? So
head of on the chair, the board of Fox News.
Right, yeah, scroll down there, Dawson. And that's the picture right there. So a lot of people are talking about it now.
Is it customary though for a former speaker to meet with a current speaker? Is that somewhat customary?
I mean, maybe at some point, but why is it happening today? Especially with the NDAA, the National Defense Reauthorization Act, you'd think that. I just think there's some funny business going on. I can't imagine that if I was Mike Johnson, I would ever need to be taking the advice and counsel of Paul Ryan. I think that I'd be able to do things my own way, but who knows what he was meeting with him over. And, I was disappointed to see the NDAA pass today. There was some good opposition from Chip Roy and Matt Gaetz and some others, but beyond that, a lot of the rhinos have just let the cake be baked here.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. Section 702 is what we're really referring to, allowing the NSA spy program on American citizens passes in the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, basically how the troops get paid. And that's why they do this. Because you don't want to cut the funding for the troops, do you? So let's go ahead and pass this, Orwellian-style spying with the troops pay and everything else that's funded on the national defense banner. And so Section 702 is the thing that brought a lot of concern. I'm sure there's tons of crap in this bill, but
right.
Section 702, which allows for this stuff. In Minnesota, Tom Emmer voted for this thing.
Yep.
Emmer is just a certain vote for the establishment when they need it. Fishbach Finstead voted against it.
Yep.
That's good.
And
Fishbach,
Stauber voted for it.
By the way, Fishbach with a primary challenger, so
Yep.
that might shape her up a bit. Stauber voted for it. Stauber, in many regards, to me, is the premier rhino in Minnesota. Is that fair? Do you think so?
It may be the case. I would maybe give the title to Emmer because he's obviously worked his way up the ladder. He's impressed the D.C. swamp quite a bit. Obviously, if they think that he's good enough for leadership, then he's obviously doing their bidding. So, but yeah, I mean, Pete Stauber, he's in the running too. He's a reliable vote for these rhinos every single time.
All right, let's go to the story in Ireland here. Pull up actionforliberty.com. You can see this. So this hate speech bill is making its way. This is the typical leftist playbook, right? Use a crisis to your advantage. We all know about 9/11. 9/11, they push on this big security state, after a terrorist attack. Well, Ireland's had a lot of turmoil in the last couple of months, basically coming from the migration of many different, I guess should we just say it's Muslims? Isn't that pretty much it? That's conflicting with their society. Is it all Muslim? I would imagine so.
I'd imagine that's one of the biggest cultural divides going on right now. It's it's tough to have a symbiosis of cultures when one culture supports the killing of others.
Right.
So it's tough to just single it out as Muslim. But yeah, I mean, to the the extreme elements of Islam, 100% that it's destroying Europe.
Well, they've got this recent Algerian immigrant that murdered a woman and her children. And I think that's what most of the riots are about. Too bad we don't have Bridget here. She's our Irish correspondent. So, so anyhow, big issues in Ireland, and so now they're trying to ram through by the end of the year this bill. So let's pull up actionforliberty.com here. Tell us about this bill.
Right. So this is a new hate speech bill that the Irish government is looking to implement. It's pretty scary to hear about this kind of stuff because we've got Senator J.D. Vance, U.S. Senator. We've got Michael Schellenberger, a very well-respected journalist, who have called this out. So this isn't just some Alex Jones-style reporting. This is actually happening. This is what's going on in the world. And we need to...
Yeah, but when you say Alex Jones-style, it's like, you mean real?
Exactly.
like he gets a lot of things right.
Right,
In fact,
exactly.
he's probably reported about this.
Yep, exactly. But, it's coming from a lot of credible people, so it's something that this is
Wait, are
happening.
you saying he's not... No, I'm just joking. This is joking.
You know what I'm saying. And so... No, and we need to be aware of what's going on in the world because, as we know, anything that's going on in Europe, that's the tip of the spear for the globalists. What they're going to do in Europe is what they're going to do to the United States. It's the same people. These globalists want to, make a list of these people here. So all of these different ways to categorize someone, race, color, nationality, religion, and the rest of it listed there.
Sex characteristics, sexual orientation. Sex characteristics. That must be a European thing. I haven't heard that one in the United States. Sexual orientation, like in Minnesota now, which would be pedophilia. Because Democrats stripped out of the bill. Click on Michael Schellenberg. I want to listen to his tweet video here. Or X post, and I'll go up there. You'll see him hyperlinked. Yeah, Michael Schellenberger.
Yep.
Infamous journalist, part of the Twitter files. I thought we had there's a video.
Oh
Let's
my
play that
gosh.
video real quick.
Tweets and paragraphs. That's crazy.
Your phone and it sounds like a Black Mirror episode. The police can enter
What
your
audio
home
are we getting here?
unannounced, Search
That's
your
the
phone
video.
and computers.
It's clearly not the video. It does look like it though.
It's the
happening a lot.
music from the video.
It
and
sounds
that's
like
it?
a Black
Why are we losing the audio? That's weird.
I have never seen that happen before.
Just hit refresh. Maybe it's a glitch in the matrix here.
Elon Musk, run Twitter better.
When he was doing that X Spaces the other day, he
Yeah.
kept cutting out.
Did he really?
your home unannounced that you're reading
That's the same
Now,
thing.
what the hell's going on? Go to Schellenberger's main page. Just
Yeah,
click
I
on
don't
his-
know what's going on.
I've got one quick solution that might work.
Black Mirror episode. It's
There we go.
worse than
Oh,
That's
hold on. Okay,
super
now I'm curious. What the hell happened?
So I could not tell you.
Well, you
Wow.
just fixed it.
Yeah, I did.
How'd you fix it?
That's a really solid question.
Why can't you tell me the answer to this, Mr. Deep State?
I
Do you guys see what's going on here? He
No.
literally knew what the problem was, fixed it,
I
and they
don't
won't
know.
tell us.
if you throw a bunch of dartboards at a wall and one of them sticks.
No,
you're not like,
no,
"Oh,
it was too precise. I'm not buying this.
Okay, that's
I'm
valid.
telling you, Dawson's been sent by the Deep State to spy on us. That was really weird jujitsu he just pulled out.
I'm just a really good video engineer.
No, you'd be really sucky. You'd be lucky. That you're going, but your comment there was you were lucky.
Yeah, but it was like a layer of the sound was coming through.
That's
Yes.
why I'm
and then
confused.
the second layer wasn't there until Dawson
That's
did
a good
whatever he
question.
did.
Did you make this video just to fool people like us? Is this a psyop?
No,
This is a
I
psyop.
did not deep fake myself onto an old man's face or whatever. How that?
All right,
works.
we're gonna continue on with the story. I don't know. I'm starting to question it.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like a Black Mirror episode. The police can enter your home unannounced, search your phone and computers, and arrest you for the things that you're reading, watching, or posting online. If you refuse, you could be sentenced to 12 months in prison. But it's not a Black Mirror episode. It's worse than that. It's real life. At this very moment, the government of Ireland is trying to pass a law before Christmas that will let the police go into people's homes and confiscate their phones and computers. Now, you might think Ireland doesn't matter, that it could disappear tomorrow without much impact. But Ireland does matter. It's the test case for the next phase of the global crackdown by military and intelligence forces and their agents that's been happening over the last 7 years.
All right, that's
What
good.
they used to call it.
So, does anyone at this point even question that there's a crackdown on speech globally right now? Does anyone question that right now?
I don't think so. It's so well established that every country is trying to limit the speech of people in some way. It's a consolidated effort. It's very clear that this is going on, and it's the earmark for authoritarianism. So I agree with you. It's happening, and there's no denying it at this point.
This bill, click on the bill link. You can go to extraforliberty.com. Jesse quickly threw this story together. I'm sorry, we didn't publish it on extraforliberty.com. Let me publish it while we're live. Do a search for, I'm guessing 12 months, because we can see the provision here. That's how long they could throw you in jail with fines. I am not going to see that screen there, so we're going to have to zoom in. There we go. Person guilty of the offense. You got to love those Europeans. The offense for them was with a C, not an S. Mm-hmm. On summary conviction to a Class A fine or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 12 months or both. Or on conviction and on indictment to a fine or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years or both. I'd have to find out why there's a 5 year, what the difference is between those two.
Right.
At the very least, we can see right there. 12 months in prison. Now, that's slightly worse than what Governor Walz was willing to do to you, put you in jail for 90 days for disobeying his government orders. Mm-hmm. At least this is being done by Parliament, if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah.
It's not unilateral. By the way, we put it on extraforliberty.com. You go to the news section. You can see the story. Read it for yourself. It's very Orwellian-like here. And essentially, so what is it about those groups? What do you have to do to get on the government watch list for them to prosecute you here?
Right, and obviously this is going to just be selectively enforced. If they wanted to actually try to apply this all the way across, it'd be impossible to implement. They're only going to pick and choose when it fits their narrative, when they need some story, when they need to target the grassroots in some way, if they want to be able to do something like that. And my argument is always that the only way to defeat bad speech is with better speech. It's with better argumentation. That's the only way that you are, it's through debate. It's through argumentation. If we try to just silence anything that's bad, the underbelly of it only gets worse. So I think it's 100% time for, people, freedom is dangerous in some ways too. There's a good Ron Paul quote where he says, "We don't have the freedom of speech to talk about the weather. We have the First Amendment so that we can say some very controversial things." Right. And he's exactly right that the First Amendment isn't there so that we can just chit-chat. It's so that we can say the controversial things that we think and allow it to be debated among the people.
Right. So I consider myself a free speech absolutionist. Would you consider yourself in that category? Do you think there's...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, except for, child pornography, there's, limits to free speech, but, violence, anything that's trying to incite people to commit violence, obviously you can't have things like that, but
so you can't
beyond
direct
that,
someone to do something.
Right, exactly. And beyond that, if it's just words, nobody should be offended by it.
Well, I mean, people could be offended by it, but so
right.
what, right?
Exactly.
You have the right to offend people.
Yep.
Yeah, that reminds me of that famous Jordan Peterson where he's... chatting with I can't think of her name right now, but was she the GQ? Not the GQ interview. Was it the GQ interview? Whatever the one was. Mm-hmm. He had two really famous ones.
Yeah. And
she says, "Why is your speech allowed when it could offend me?" And it's just like, for the same reasons what you're doing to me.
Exactly.
You're conducting this interview. You're not very polite to me. It's like,
exactly.
Where did you get that right?
Right. And what she did in that entire interview, right? Yeah. She just kept saying, "So what you're saying is," and he'd say, "No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm actually saying is, whatever he's saying." And one last thing from that article there, Dawson, go ahead and pull that back up. So go ahead and click the link there, that hate speech database right there. Yep. So
Let's bring it back home to Minnesota right
because
here.
this is something that we know is going on right here in Minnesota too, where they want to limit our speech. They want to be able to have a database to be able to track everybody, and obviously Action for Liberty is going to make that list day one. So we need to be on the front lines of this, and this is just a callback to what they were pushing in January. So this is what the legislature wants. The globalists are already here in Minnesota trying to push this agenda, and like I said, it's only going to be enforced selectively. It's only going to be used to benefit the liberal big government narrative.
This is actually kind of fun because we would have done this story back in January. So let me read this here. And they got their protected classes. The insanity of the radical Democrat agenda continues on. This time the crazies at the Capitol are pushing for a bill that would use your tax dollars to create a statewide database to report bias and incidents that may or may not be criminal. HF 181, authored by short-tempered Representative Samantha Vang. She's the one that got angry and yelled at someone on the House floor, I think. That's why we call that. And over a dozen other leftists at the Capitol starts us down a slippery slope of reporting on incidents that quote, a community member or community organizer believes are motivated, end quote, by someone's, quote, perceived. And then here's their categories: race, color, ethnicity, religion, sex, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Mm-hmm. What was that one that was new in the Irish bill? Sexual something, wasn't it?
Expression, right?
I don't think it was expression. It was something new that I don't think. Oh, no, it's in your article.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. Sexual characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
Sex characteristics. I think that'd be gender expression, maybe?
Probably.
Whatever, these wackos. And then that bill at that time appropriated unknown tax dollars to nonprofit organizations and the Commission on Human Rights to collect data on incidents where there's reasonable belief the crime was committed based on the above-mentioned criteria. You just got to love it. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not banging down doors and prosecuting people yet. That's the fear. They're setting that stuff up. Maybe Ireland already has that kind of database already, and, this is the next step.
Right.
That's why we thought this was a good news story for you guys, is to see what's going on in Ireland, a westernized country. Mm-hmm. And, by the way, I think most of us here are thinking 2024, there's going to be a lot of disruptions, a lot of maybe tensions that lead to violence and rioting, and that's what they're going to do, is they're going to use those opportunities. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Mm-hmm. So this could be coming to America.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly. Rahm Emanuel, never let a good crisis go to waste, because, with the riots that went on in Ireland, that was their opportunity to be able to crack down on people. They say this is for the common good. And that we need to value this instead of people's freedom. That's always what they're going to say, and it needs to be stopped. So you're right. They're always looking to take advantage of the next crisis, and just like Joe Biden did, with the Patriot Act to spy on all Americans immediately after 9/11. He had the bill written in the 90s all of a sudden, and it's not like Joe Biden wrote the bill. Joe Biden doesn't know how to write a bill. But, Joe Biden's team was putting that bill out there so that they could spy on us warrantlessly. Now we're in the position where, that kind of program is still being continued to this day through the NDAA. So it's a corrupt government we live in. And I also want to throw out there, I see JM Teddy and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot in the comment section. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot says that Walz is a cuck, and 100% with you on that.
Yeah, great name too, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yep.
All right, let's stay on actionforliberty.com. Satanists erect satanic statue at the Iowa State Capitol building. Okay, now I wrote this story yesterday. I'm just going to say right now that's a misleading headline because they're not Satanists. At least I don't believe they're Satanists. Right? This is the statue. I'm sure you guys have seen this. What do we got? Breaking news? The NDA passes the House of bipartisan. Well, I knew that. That happened already. Yeah, that happened like a couple hours ago. Thank you, Tucker. Yeah, the NDA passed this morning. And then we talked about Fishbach voted against it, and Finstead voted against it.
Yep, and all the Democrats except Omar.
I don't think that's true. I think Tlaib voted.
Oh no, I'm saying the Minnesota Democrats.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, there was like 71 Republicans who voted against it, and like 60 some odd Democrats. So, but for the most part, Uniparty runs the show.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, this is a satanic display at the state capitol in Iowa. What I did is I think this is the Iowa Satanic the Temple of Satan. I'm already forgetting their name. Satanic Temple of Iowa. I think that's their residence. It's probably just a bunch of orgies, disgusting orgies in there, right? I can't imagine what else they do. They don't meet and do anything. What? What's so funny, Dawson? You think they actually do something?
Yeah, my first thought was they probably play video games.
They probably do play video games. That's fair. They got the LGBTQIA plus, flag there. They should add an S for Satan.
Did you desaturate this, or is this what it looks like?
I got that somewhere from the interwebs.
Okay.
I don't know.
It looks like it's photoshopped a little bit, but not to like a.
Did someone get me on that one?
The flag just looks too saturated for being a rainbow flag.
Well, they're tasteful Satanists. Look at their shrubbery.
That is nice shrubbery.
Fancy shrubbery.
And they're pretty good at making a statue too. Like that's a solid.
That is a solid statue.
Look at that.
God.
Good job, Satanists.
Yeah. Well, not Satanists. That's the problem. All right. So here's what's going on. It's just a ruse, guys. And I'm not saying that people that are up in arms about this, because it's obviously upsetting a lot of people in Iowa right now. Whoever's in charge of the Iowa grounds, or Iowa State Capitol grounds, is welcoming displays, and the Temple of Satan Satanic Temple of Iowa decided, we're going to take advantage of this. So they want to put their display up. So we looked into the Satanic Temple, which is a national group, and they apparently don't get along with the Church of Satan. Okay, so they differentiate. Their list, by the way, is a lot longer than what I'm showing you guys right here. But you can see right there, the fourth one down, belief in actual Satan. Neither one believes in actual Satan. So this is the thing that's always puzzled me. You read the Bible, great piece of work, right? You read the Bible and you go, this evil character, the dark angel, that's the one that I'm going to worship. And I never understood that. I'm like, how could you read the Bible and go, yeah, I want to worship him? Maybe there's people that literally like that, okay? Not them. According to their own website, they don't actually believe in Satan. What they believe in are just a bunch of different, political or philosophical beliefs. They don't believe in a higher being. In fact, it's just a mockery of an actual real religion, okay? So to me, can you call them Satanists? I would imagine Satanist means you believe. Let's look this up. Go to Wikipedia. Let's look up Satanist. I might just been way wrong on this thing, but I assumed Satanist meant you believed in Satan.
That would track. That would seem right.
And then you believed in Satan, then you're like, that's the one I'm going to worship, right? Satanism, that should be good enough. Yep. Wikipedia can't be sold. Yeah, right. Is a group of ideological and philosophical beliefs based on Satan. Although several historical precedents exist, the contemporary religious practice of Satanism began with the founding of the Atheistic Church of Satan by Anton LaVey in the United States in 1966. Well, they, according to this website, don't believe in Satan. Prior to that time, Satanism exists primarily as the subject of accusations by various Christian groups toward perceived ideological opponents rather than a self-identity or expressed religious belief. Satanism and the concept of Satan has also been used by artists and entertainers for symbolic expression. So right there on the top, they're just saying ideological. See, can you be religious without believing in a super being, a super higher power, right? I wanted to ask these questions. We actually had a Satanist respond to our story on Facebook yesterday and go on there because I found it rather interesting. In fact, on their webpage, let's click on their webpage. Go back to the story. Did I not had a hyperlink in here?
I think you have a picture of it, and that's.
Oh no, yeah, I got a little hyperlink on the website.
Where's it at?
Go up to the text that says website. Yeah, they're really like an abortionist group. Move up a little bit higher. No, above that graphic, you'll see the website.
My bad.
So there's their website.
Oh,
this is like great.
Oh, the urge! I
Yeah.
want to so bad. I'm so curious, but also.
In just a day, I can tell they've upgraded they've made major changes to their website in just a day. So this is
what's that? Kids Quick Reference? Is that like a what is that?
Oh my god!
This is what I was referencing. They're trying to let you understand what they are.
For kids.
For kids, yeah,
That's
exactly.
Pretty funny.
I
don't get it.
and they're apparently growing and all that kind of stuff. I want to find where they talk about what they believe in. They say their goal is to advance secularism and individual liberties. Okay.
Yeah. They seem like a real freedom-oriented group.
This is huge.
It is. It's a lot of
They've
writing.
got so much. You know what? They've sold me. They've got footnotes. Look
They
at
do.
this.
They have footnotes. He says. Let's see here. Where is this?
And they got a shop?
Visit Salem.
Oh, man, these people are nuts.
I'll look into that on my own time. If you guys
Oh,
see
that's
me
where I
with
got
a-
the photo. It's right on their website of the house.
Where's it at?
Oh, you got to scroll to the bottom of the main page. And I was trying to find like what we believe in. I
Oh,
had
look at
that
that.
somewhere. About TST.
An art gallery? It's kind of neat.
Okay, here we go. It's right there on the top. About Us section. The mission of the Satanic Temple is to encourage benevolence and empathy, reject tyrannical authority, advocate practical common sense, oppose injustice, and undertake noble pursuits. And so I asked the Satanists on there, I'm like, certainly, and then they also say bodily autonomy because they're big on the, killing babies. They're big abortion people. And I say to them, I go, so certainly you guys were leading the fight against COVID lockdowns and forced vaccinations. And the guy writes back something like, well, that was for a public health. It's different. I'm like, oh, it's always different. Yeah, it's all, So to me, they're just leftists, right? They're just countercultural leftists. This is a ruse. This isn't a religion. It's actually a mockery of the main religion in America, and certainly in Iowa, which would be Christianity.
Yeah.
Let's go to the comment section here before I go on.
Yeah, Tucker thinks, he says they're just a bunch of unintelligent attention seekers. They don't believe in anything. They're communists.
I don't know if they would say unintelligent. I don't know if I'd categorize them
they
that way,
seem
but
like they're
certainly they don't
trolls.
believe anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's a
seems like
troll.
they're trolls.
Yeah, because it's a mockery.
Right. Not also, I'm seeing on Facebook here, we got James Carnahan says, hi from Gaylord, and Jason Hack says, keep it up, hashtag it matters how you stand.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
honestly don't know if they're trolling. This is like, if they are, this is the biggest one I think I've ever seen. Because, like, making children's, the Satanic Temple's Guide to Religious Freedom in Public Schools. This is like a lot of effort. Good night, Baphomet.
I don't know if I think you can call it a troll, but I think it's what it is. It's a mockery religion to advance a set of beliefs, and they just take the extreme to try to get attention. They're attention seeking, right?
That makes sense.
Well,
Because you could be
remember when, wasn't Target selling those t-shirts for a while that said, like, Satan loves trans kids or something like that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, obviously, the two movements are working together in some way. The LGBTQ plus the Satanic, sometimes, they see similar goals in what they're doing. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a shock. I think it's a shock value. Get extra attention. I mean, look, congratulations, you got shock value. You accomplished what you want to. In my opinion, you're mocking Christianity, and maybe here by saying it's my religious expression. I don't know. We certainly don't have the definition of religion in the Constitution, but you do have the free exercise to practice religion, right? And by the way, I think they have the ability to practice their beliefs. I don't know how you can call it a religion. What's so funny?
I'm browsing their website, just finding candles and such.
There you go.
It's
Now look at that. Isn't that a beaut right there?
that's cool.
Satanist symbol on the transgender rainbow pride thing.
But notice, not on any of the other flags. So what
yeah,
is
not an
Satan
American
saying?
flag.
They actually did have an American flag with Satan on it.
Oh, man.
Satan doesn't believe in borders, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
This one.
That's insane.
Yeah, there you go. And they got the
Oh, there it is. I found it. There it is. Yeah.
Hail Satan.
Well,
Wow.
But see, they don't believe in Satan, so that's the thing. It's just a mockery.
must be.
Because then you want to get like all. What's the reproductive rights one? What is that one? It's the second one down.
Which one?
You got the Devil Kitty.
Oh,
You see right there. Okay.
that is the hardest flag to read I think I've ever seen. Etc. to. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that. I'll probably curse something.
Yeah.
One's will alone, one's body is inviolable. Subject to one's will alone, one's body is in the same thing.
Yeah.
But they're for vaccine mandates.
I think so.
Well,
That's
or
insane.
certainly didn't protest against it. That's at least what I did. I did the guy in the show.
Mm-hmm.
To my knowledge, I checked right before he went on, but never responded to it.
I'm kind of glad that he didn't, because I can't make like a salt circle in here or anything. That's gonna mess stuff up.
On Zoom, he's in Texas, I think.
Oh,
Assuming that's a real account, it looked like it was a real account. If it's a troll account, good job, you got me. Or the whole thing is a troll, right? And going back to my story, it's just that, in my opinion, this is just probably their chance of getting religious taken out of the public square. Because you would think that the same people, right, that are saying, hey, separation of church and state, you can't have any 10 commandments up on a public building.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing that I thought was more interesting, okay? Because I think this is not the biggest story in the world. I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. Read my story, actionforliberty.com. Tell me if you disagree with it. But this is just a publicity stunt. It worked very well. They obviously are going for shock value. But I think there are very satanic things going on in this world. I think there's global elite that are literally evil forces. And you look at the stuff permeating our culture. So I list 3, and there's probably a lot more. The whole pride movement. Pride is a 7 deadly sin, and it's taught as it's a virtue now. It's ridiculous. We are learning that pride is a virtue. So that seems to be very satanic or evil or counter to the Bible. Here's another one, and I hyperlinked this. Go back to the story. Lying is noble. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the show. Scroll down right there. Click on Lying is Noble. This is an article by Slate where, it's just, you can't make this stuff up, right? Now, this is not a mean story to Anthony Fauci, right? The guy that Trump kept and gave an award to, right? There, Jesse?
No, I mean,
I'm sorry, that was unfair.
I know, it's stupid. I mean, really, why even get into it again?
I know. The noble lies of COVID-19. I know, but I like to get.
I know.
Kip Christensen paid me to do that.
We can't just continue to say the same thing over and over.
Representative Danny Nadeau and Kip Christensen said, "You got to punch him back."
I don't know.
You were unfair to those guys.
I don't know who either of those people are. Never heard of them.
So this is the noble lies of COVID-19. This is literally, they're making the argument that because he told people to mask so that people wouldn't go on a run and get all the PPE, these are noble lies. Did you know? You guys remember that in the Bible? Where it says lies are noble. Do you remember that? I just can't remember. But someone please tell me scripture and verse, or chapter and verse where that is. Lying is noble, and then all truth is relative. The postmodernist view. Right? There is no real truth. There's no, it's all relative to who you are. Gender, it is all in your perspective. So it's you have these contrary things that are become very mainstream in our culture. And you see this craziness right here in Minnesota. Go back to the article. If you guys forgot about this, we had a drag queen performing on the Capitol Rotunda on the roped off, by the way. We tried figuring out. William was calling the Capitol grounds, trying to get the history of the star, why it's roped off. It doesn't seem to have any huge reason why, but most people observe that as somewhat sacred or ground you don't go on. It's roped off, and there you go. You got that person just desecrating that area. And children in the audience, you could read our article on it. By the way, scroll down, that same dance performer also likes to dress up in devilish-looking satanic costumes. So it's permeating our society in many regards. What I'm thinking, and this is, I come to this more often, and I'm not like some holier thou kind of guy. I struggle with faith just as much as the next guy, and there's certainly people on this show, Bridget, William, certainly better in their faith than even me at my age. It's it seems to me that with evil in this world, you got to be pushing back in that direction. That's where you got to go. There's this hatred of Christianity, and I see younger generations maybe going back that direction. Right now, church attendance is all-time low. It seems to me that's the better way to go, is to go back towards Christianity, back towards our roots, because our society is really, really sick right now. Right? I think you guys know this. The family is broken. I was talking to my dad, who's actually a Lutheran pastor, yesterday, and he was like, the two most important institutions have taken a beating. And he's like, guess what those are? And the first one I assumed was the church, and he was right. The second one, and I didn't even think of this, it's the family, the institution of the family, the nuclear family. And that is deeply threatened in today's world. So anyhow, to me, this is kind of a quasi-distraction. It's not real. I don't know if it's real evil that's going on. It's opportunist, right? Right? It's the bigger things that are happening, especially when it gets into policy. In the case of here in Minnesota, you got a drag star dancing around, parading, probably celebrating when Tim Walz signed into law that 6-year-olds in Minnesota can get genital mutilation surgery because that's their gender expression at 6 years old, which is just child abuse. Sorry, we've beaten that one up a ton. Let's go to the comment section.
Let's see here. We got Whiskey Tango Foxtrot says Kelly Morrison loves Satanism.
Well, do you have proof of that? Like, obviously very evil in a lot of her intentions, in my estimation.
You know, what's crazy about Kelly Morrison, it seems like the Senate Republicans want her to be elected to Congress. You know, they think that, it's a terrible strategy. We don't need to get into that right now. But Brad Ganser, the problems in society cannot be fixed by government. Insert Rumble rant here.
Okay, and, I do. Yes, I want to respond to that. By the way, we don't have a Rumble rant yet, so let's not break the streak today, Brad. Great point. Okay, now I think a lot of times on this show we get into the political arguments and where does government fall in it. I think this stuff is aside from government, to be honest with you. I think there's people on the right that try to use government to try to enforce morality, and I don't think that's the right course of action. And of course, the people on the left certainly do it. And as we started on the beginning of the program, trying to influence speech. To me, this is a problem that really is above and beyond government or any kind of policy. It really comes back to us in society. That's the beauty of doing the Truth Hurts show, is maybe we can open people's minds and they can change behaviors in that regard. We obviously advocate for things up at the Capitol. That happens as well. But it's not always the solution to go into the world of politics. Some things need to happen outside of the world of politics. In this case, that's kind of where my head's at, is I think people do need to take more control over their life. In fact, I'm so pro-freedom, it doesn't mean when you're pro-freedom, you don't have any bit of responsibility. In fact, us freedom society, there's more individual responsibility because you got nobody out there protecting you, or sorry, not protecting you, but that's probably the one role of government. No one out there to, excuse me, little cough today. Anyone out there trying to control your behavior and run your life for you and be the safety net. So there is more responsibility in a free society. All right, let's go back to comments.
Let's see here. Mike Galler said less of a mockery and more of a perversion of God and God's order. Base Minnesota, hey guys, joined late and can't stay. Props though to Walter Hudson for supporting the 2 newly elected conservative school board members in ISD 728. The board is trying to censor them.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I don't have the full story yet, and this would have been this is one of the downfalls of having William not working here full-time anymore. I shouldn't even say full-time, but working here during the show hours and stuff like that, because I wanted to get the story, and I just didn't have someone that covered it. We had too many other things going on. So, unfortunately, we don't have that story. We'll be a little late on it, but I don't think many of the mainstream media have covered this story. So, all I know at this point, in Elk River, 2 conservatively elected school board members have been censored by the rest of the board. I think that's what it was. And it seems very fishy. It seems like it's getting a lot of people pretty riled up in that area. I wish I had more to tell you about it. I did see that Walter Hudson had a story on it. I didn't have a chance to look at it yet. Other comments?
Jen Wagner on Facebook says, it's the big guys in charge of the world who want nothing but control and don't believe in God. They worship the devil. Look back on the history of the sick crap they used to do. Child trafficking, bloodshed, sacrificing children. It's the same crap, disgusting. So,
yeah, I mean, no kidding. These guys are not faithful people, right? The world elite. I mean, they care about themselves. They care about their own power, their own riches. So, yeah, you want to talk about demonic forces, it's those people. And then, it's when we talk about the sound of freedom, we get these reviews and we're reading how Hollywood and the mainstream media is reviewing Sound of Freedom, which everyone should have been on board with. Yeah, that's a real big issue. And you're like, why are people pushing back against a movie exposing child trafficking? It then makes you believe these conspiracies. And by the way, a lot of us who had those crazy conspiracies during COVID that turned out to be right, we have maybe a good idea of when conspiracies might be truthful, right? So yes, I wish. I mean, listen, what was Epstein's Island, right? We know that existed. We know that guy got away with so many things, and we know he wasn't. We know he was killed in prison, right? So the global elite definitely are doing those fishy things, and these guys are demonic forces. All right, let's go to the next story here. What do I have? God. We need like a fun story here, something on the lighter side, because this is dark. All right, so Zelensky's in Washington right now. Okay. Yep. I put a comment on Facebook yesterday, and just about how anyone that's voting and giving more money to Ukraine are traitors. Am I wrong on that, Jesse?
No, I mean it's their priority. You know, they care more about Ukraine's borders than ours. So that's exactly what it is.
And it seems to me, you know, I think I was reading Mike Lee, maybe it was Rand Paul, something like that. Like, I have no intentions of meeting Zelensky. What do we have to talk about, right? I mean, first of all, we were lied to about this war from the get-go. Like, it was a big Russian failure and all that kind of stuff. It's like Russia's winning the war, right? Zelensky's pleading for help. And you know what? There's a little bit of sympathy for Zelensky here, because the politicians that have sold us out, they kind of promised to Zelensky that they were going to be there for him, right? They kind of gave him the impression the money train was going to keep rolling, right? Now, that doesn't mean we are advocating for the money train to keep rolling, or should I say the money laundering scam, right? It's that he thought so, and now they are feeling the resistance from we the people. So,
yeah, and I think
he's on a mission to go help out his country, and it's like, good God, you almost can't blame the guy for that. But at the same point, screw this guy for coming over here and trying to enrich these fucking whatever they are that are making tons of money off of us, and really what it is doing indebting our children.
Right. Well, what is he doing? He's calling a lot of these Republicans pro-Putin. That's not how you're gonna win over the hearts and minds of people. And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of movement on the Republican side of the aisle on this thing. You see people like Senator Rick Scott, even Lindsey Graham is saying out there that we need to have separate funding for Israel and Ukraine, that he doesn't want it to be packaged together. It seems as if there's a lot of Republicans who are thinking this way, whether it be Mike Lee, Rand Paul, Tommy Tuberville. You know, there's a few fighters within the U.S. Senate who are actually trying to take this to task, and we'll see if you know, they have the actual will and motivation to actually get it done, because it would be nice to see us say that no, you know, you're not going to get any more money from us, Ukraine, but also I don't believe for a second that they're not getting money from us right now. Just like before when they said, oh, we accidentally gave them $200 billion extra. Yeah, that kind of stuff isn't an accident, and it's still going on right now. We might think that, oh, none of our taxes are going there now. Of course they are.
Yeah, didn't Biden say something about like $200 million yesterday?
Yeah, that's what Tucker in the comments section is saying here.
$200 million. It's a lot more than he got. Biden announces $200 million additional military aid to Ukraine during Zelensky visit. U.S. has roughly $4.4 million remaining in weapons it can provide from Pentagon stockpiles. President Biden on Tuesday announced an additional $200 million military aid package to Ukraine to help the war-weary nation in its ongoing fight. The announcement came as Ukrainian President Zelensky was visiting the White House. He wrote, I just signed another $200 million drawdown for the Department of Defense for Ukraine, and that'll be coming, Biden told reporters during an on-camera meeting in the Oval Office. Now think about this. So this is something that's already been passed by Congress, appropriated. He's doing a $200 million drawdown from your national defense funds. I mean, what do you say other than these guys are traitors? The fact he would be willing to take $200 million for money that was put into the national defense of the United States of America, and you're going to give it to some foreign, not democracy, to basically, enrich certain people. We don't have any tracing of that money. That's the crazy thing about war aid funding. It's like you're just giving money to this foreign nation. That's insanity. And then when you give, and by the way, if you give weapons and you give ammunition, you don't know where that ammunition and weapons will eventually be used. I think about us giving the Mujahideen weapons in the 80s to fight the Russians. There's another case, right?
Yeah.
We fought the Russians by proxy in the 80s by funding the Mujahideen, which ended up becoming the Taliban.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, how many more times do these guys need a picture? But see, they don't give a shit about that stuff. This is enriching certain people. They love it. It's just a money laundering scam, and it's our money. Okay. We really do. Let's talk about puppies here for a second. Should we talk about puppies? What's the good news that's going on in the world there, Dawson?
You want good news from me?
Yeah, give us good news. Leg day.
It is leg day. Sorry, I'm a little bit on the spot. I have had a video go viral of my own, which is very
tell
exciting.
us more.
It's a gaming video. It's
All right,
great.
that was very good.
Yeah,
Hey.
I'm seeing Tucker. He has an interesting comment here. He
Sure,
says, "Yeah, I read the average age of the soldiers for Ukraine is now 43. That's what happens to nations when they're losing and losing badly. So that is interesting. If the average age is 43, that's a high age for the Ukraine military." And it also maybe gives you an impression that a lot of young people maybe left Ukraine or are refusing to serve within the military. There could be some conscientious objectors.
That's something that I've thought through. Like, what would happen right now if the U.S. did a draft or something? I don't think I'd go.
Yeah, but what if we were attacked on our own soil? What would you do?
I'm like a Pearl Harbor type of thing, or something bigger.
I think a better example is there's a army coming across the Canadian border, and let's just use for this example, it's in North Dakota and Montana, so it's not directly in Minnesota.
I think my place is weird because I don't know the rules with the military and stuff, but isn't having gone through college and being a specialty something couldn't I be recruited for ads and stuff like that type of thing? I would do stuff like that. I do.
Well, that's what the South Korean military does. You can be a propaganda soldier so that you just show up in the commercials and you don't actually have to fight on the battlefield.
Right.
But
I'd prefer
So you're
to
saying
do something like that.
I would love for you guys at home to weigh in on this too. You're saying we're talking about Red Dawn style here. You got an invading force on U.S. soil.
I've actually never seen that movie. I need to.
Well, there you go. There's your. I mean, it's not the greatest movie. All of us that watched it back in the '80s are like, yeah, this is such a great movie, and then you watch it nowadays, you're like, boy, has cinema come a long ways.
Did you watch the remake?
Yeah, that was like North Koreans though. It was
Yeah.
so much better when it was Russians. Actually, was it Russians and Cubans?
I can't remember.
No, it's been a
It
while
had
since
Josh
I thought it
Peck
was
in it.
Russian and another force. So it's literally an attack here on our own soil, and it's ground forces. What do? You think you're going to try to find a way to be part of a propaganda machine?
I'd probably my skills are not in combat as of right now.
I've seen you shoot a gun.
I mean, that's true. That's true. I do shoot a good gun,
You
but
could probably fly a good drone too.
I think that
All
my
those computer game skills.
I feel like my stuff.
yeah, that's what Mike
oh, yeah.
says in the comments
That's true.
about you, Dawson. He says that Big D can be a drone pilot.
Big D. I like that one. Yeah, I probably could. More of my original plan after college was to go and do Army stuff as an officer. That was what I was originally going to do, and then CIA after that. But
He never made it past the recruiter because he goes, "What are you here for?" Well, I want to go do Army stuff. And the guy's like, "Okay."
yeah. But
What do you do, Jesse? Evading
It depends.
force.
I mean, in most cases, I think that the government would, if they were doing some kind of draft, I would not trust the intentions of our government. In most cases, I'd say, does this really concern me? Is this really America's fight? But in the situation where we're being invaded, and I can tell that, oh, we got some communist Chinese trying to take us over, then absolutely, I'm ready to strap up and get down to it. But it'd be more as a patriotic citizen than as a enlisted soldier for the government.
Yeah. Yeah, see, to me, it's like you don't even need to draft me. Like, I'm there. Like,
Yeah.
You attack our homeland. See, getting out of the military, 2 deployments, it's just like, wait, we're not fighting for America freedom anymore. This is ridiculous.
Especially without a doubt if it's on foreign soil. Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I wasn't using that example. That's a bullshit example, right?
I'd rather spend time in prison or whatever happens to draft dodgers than.
Yeah, you're able to put in like a conscientious objection. So you're allowed to have, all of your different reasoning and everything. Bernie Sanders, for example, skipped the Vietnam War and was a conscientious objector. So, all that stuff has happened before.
That actually reminds. Have you guys seen Hacksaw Ridge? The new
It's Clint Eastwood, and I actually haven't seen
that
it.
movie is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I need to
super
see it
recommend
because I am a big Clint Eastwood fan. I've seen almost all his films, and I have not seen that one. I
Andrew
don't know how I
Garfield
made
is
it.
so good. He does a great job.
Let's go to the comments here. What are people saying when it comes to what happens if there's a attack on our own soil?
Let's see. Brazzles Dazzle says, find those lost guns in a hurry. Dream Kick Ass T says, we fight because that may be all that's left of Darwinism. So and Tucker's saying even the cooks had to fight. So I imagine that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
People are ready.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the movie Civil War?
No, but I need to see that trailer.
Okay, let's go ahead and play this. People got to see this. This is interesting. Civil War, which is about what's going to happen in America. So this documentary is coming out in the springtime. Just kidding, it's not a documentary. By the way, the one thing, well, I'll save my comment till the end of this. If you guys haven't seen it, I think it just came out yesterday.
Oh, this is being made by A24?
I saw that. What does that mean?
So A24 is they're like pretty left leaning as far as I know.
Well,
so,
now that makes sense to me.
Yeah, because I think they made like Black Klansman. They make a lot of good movies. They're just great cinema.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's play this trailer here. It's called Civil War, coming out in the springtime.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
They're moving to D.C. today.
You need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death. Blooded.
Every time I survived the war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go!
God bless America.
Wow. That's fantastic.
You like it?
This shot is just awesome.
Well, first of all, one of the problems I had with it is it seems like you're casting Nick Offerman the wrong way.
Is he the president?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Ron Swanson is supposed to be libertarian. Now, by the way, just a good actor, because it looks like he's really not libertarian. I'm just looking on Wikipedia. It says he described Donald Trump as racist and sexist during the 2016 presidential election, but also mocked Trump's opponent Hillary Clinton for her private email controversy. Upon voting in the 2020 Democratic Party presidential primaries, he tweeted a photo of himself with an "I voted" sticker, adding the caption #Vote Warren. So he's Elizabeth Warren fan.
Yeah.
He's not on our side. So, there's things about that to me. It seems like the sympathy in that movie is probably not going to be on the resistance. And that's where, if I was doing the movie, the resistance is the heroic part, right? But it does look like an interesting action movie. And by the way, I mean, who knows where the hell this thing's going? Like 2024 is crazy. We're going to get 100 episodes in 2023. And then we're going to try to get as many episodes done in 2024 as we can until the internet's gone, right?
Yeah.
That's
what do you got?
That's great.
Let's see here. Well, I'm trying to understand some. Tucker says that was from 5/29/20. I'm not sure what he's saying that's in reference to.
Not the movie, or did they withhold the movie?
Yeah, I have no idea. Mike Geller says Civil War equals predictive programming to normalize people before it happens.
Probably, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see. I saw Jen had a couple of other good things on Facebook here. The big guys don't care about anyone, only their families. They will use anyone they can to get their jobs done. Oh, and Tucker's saying it was a joke. Okay, I fell for it, Tucker.
Oh, yeah. That's protests of 2020. That's what he's referencing. George Floyd and all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, this is my fault today. The show has just gone downhill. We are literally breaking the streak on the Rumble rants. I'm going to be in depression tonight thinking about how I didn't bring my A game for the show. I don't know what our show prep today. It was awful. It was a disaster. We couldn't. I couldn't motivate you on anything. You did write the article. I think you did a good job. I thought the Irish speech thing was. I mean, I'm being real, Jesse. I think people appreciate us being real.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is why I don't do a daily show, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, no.
Exactly. I appreciate Rush Limbaugh. You did 3 hours every day, right?
He did 3 hours every day?
He did 3 hours every day. That's with commercial breaks.
Wow.
Sean Hannity this day does an hour, 3 hours of radio and an hour on primetime cable. You're just making shit up. You're just regurgitating shit. There's not, in my opinion, you have to do that if you're a daily, and that's why I'm going to push back against daily. Oh, look at that. Someone made my day.
Tucker did it. Tucker said $10 for the 100th episode fund.
Oh, Tucker, God bless you. That made my day. I won't be depressed.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't even matter the amount. It's just the fact that the streak continues. But Tucker, be honest. Thank you for the Rumble rant, but be honest. Is it the B game today? Is it the C game? Like, it's not the A game today, right?
And we got Mike Geller with another $5, says for keeping it real.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying is you keep it real. This is like someone asked in the comment section a while ago, why don't you have some politicians on? I'm like, because I'm not going to be real. I'm not going to just bring a bunch of people here to lie to you. Like, that's it. That's not my game. My thought, and this is the problem with doing shows, is you have to have some bit of consistency, okay? I love how Joe Rogan's like, I'm going to do an episode when an episode's warranted, right? Great. I noticed he's doing more of a schedule, though, since he went to Spotify. It's probably part of his deal. Well, there we go.
Oh, and K-Wall for life. Yeah, another $10 for being late. I'll catch up later today. Yeah, appreciate that, K-Wall and T-Wall. And yeah, I don't think I said it last time. And yeah, you guys gave me that gift card at the Christmas party, so I owe you guys a thank you. So yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Caribou Coffee?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. So.
I said, Dawson doesn't drink Caribou Coffee or doesn't drink coffee, but I bet they got a protein shake there.
They've got a lumberjack sandwich which has quite a bit of protein, and my girlfriend eats caribou all the time. So.
Oh man, just like that. Okay, see, this is what fuels us. You can see how much we're not fueled when this happens. Okay.
Godfather.
So, what's that?
And also we got Godfather 2023 is now a monthly supporter. So
Well,
that is
my
also
God,
good to
what?
see.
This thing just turned around. Just after I said, let's just be real for a second, and then all of a sudden everything turned around. I
Guess
love
so.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, great. See, that's the thing.
And we got Godfather 2023 giving $50. Well, this is for helping me nap. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, we appreciate it anyway. Yeah, we'll take it.
Sweet dreams, I guess.
I don't even know how to take that one. That's
We'll take it.
oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh, well, anything we can do to help. Oh, man. Well, anyhow, yeah, I don't think you can. It's so difficult to put together a show, and some days it's just like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? And then there's some days there's so much breaking and so many things that's unique that it warrants multiple. Like there's days where it's like we should do 2 shows. So with that being said, let's go to this Cuomo thing. We'll kind of end the show on this. Did we talk enough about the impeachment inquiry?
Yeah, everybody knows what's going on.
Well, yeah, but my point was McCarthy. What did McCarthy do 2 months ago? He said we're launching a formal impeachment inquiry.
Yeah.
But somehow now they have to vote on it. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, how are we not moving forward on this shit? So anyhow.
Yeah, I almost remember the Democrats, like Maxine Waters, before saying, well, why aren't we having this voted on the floor? So I almost remember maybe Kevin didn't think he had the votes. I don't know for sure, but maybe.
All right, maybe that's what it is. All right. Yeah, Newt, that's a good one. I like that. Cuomo, pull up this. So this is a TikTok influencer who is allegedly has Tourette's, correct?
Yeah.
And Chris Cuomo has her on his new show, whatever the hell that is. He's not on CNN anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, News Nation.
And he's on News Nation. I thought News Nation was right-leaning.
No, they're independent. They kind of do their own thing. I mean, they're still to the left, but I mean, it's more free speech than most of the mainstream.
What am I thinking of? What did the Republican debate last week or whenever that was?
Yeah, that was News Nation.
Was News Nation?
Yeah, but they sound just like Newsmax, which is to the right.
Okay. All right. Well, anyhow, he's got this girl, and I guess the question is, did she punk him? You guys be the judge here. Go ahead and play it.
Much for coming on. And what do you hope you can do by taking the risks that you take so people can understand what you're dealing with?
I'm sorry, do you mind repeating the question? Fuck off.
What do you want people to learn?
I want people to learn that Tourette's is a neurological involuntary motor and vocal disorder. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. I don't tick 24/7, and there's a lot of little baby weenies. Fuck off. Fuck you, Chris. There's a lot of things that people don't understand. Like, people think that cussing is with everyone who has Tourette syndrome, but it's only in 10% of people with Tourette's.
And how has it been as you've gotten more famous? Do you believe that people are understanding better, or are they dopes like me who think you're acting?
I say it's the same. I think there's a lot more people that don't understand what Tourette's is, and they like to educate themselves more. So I get thousands of DMs from parents, from teachers, from girls that have been diagnosed with Tourette's, and they've had to be kicked out of school for attention seeking because they rip up their homework or do things like that. I've had parents reach out to me asking me, oh, my son's coming home with a girlfriend and his girlfriend has Tourette syndrome. So, and then I also get very evil people that would comment and say, like, go fuck yourself, Chris, little baby weenie, blam up your ass, on your own biscuit, fat ass, that have told me that my parents deserved to die in a car accident because I'm faking my condition, or people have told me that, like, I've had to have the police at my house because people gave out my location and said they were going to come torch my house. Like, it's crazy.
Here's the thing.
Okay, that's
yeah, that's good. So it's a tough one. I can't tell for sure.
She's a good actress if she's fake.
I know. I lean towards fake. I'm leaning towards the fake. I can't tell for sure because obviously Tourette's is real, but there's all kinds of young people out here faking mental disorders. So I wouldn't put it past someone to fake having Tourette's. That stuff happens all the time. So I don't know
if she's faking it.
Right. If she
That's
is, it's hard to tell.
She's like Jedi level troll. Mm-hmm. Because she gets on Chris Cuomo's show and then says, "Fuck you, Chris Cuomo."
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets him to laugh at the disability. What do you think?
I'm not a doctor, but
oh shoot! This whole time,
yeah.
hold on. Let me change my
Yeah,
bio on
if you can
my
believe
computer.
it.
I had you as doctor.
I think that faking mental illnesses is such a massive problem on TikTok right now, and like just social media in general. How it's like put up on a pedestal really hard, and so people even go and develop mental or disorders like tics and stuff just out of habit from watching a favorite creator of theirs do it. And I think that that's really dangerous. I can't tell if this is real or not, but I actually lean more towards real on this one because it's very like I know people with Tourette's. And
you know people with Tourette's?
Yeah.
One of my I've known people with Tourette's too.
More than one person with Tourette's.
Yeah. One big example, yeah. One that I knew in high school that she'd say all kinds of crazy stuff. But I'm seeing Razzle Dazzle has a very good suggestion in there. It says, let's have her on The Truth Hurts. See what she does and says to Jesse and Jake. I think that'd be interesting. Let's have her on and see if this thing's legit or not.
That'd be interesting. My main question is, who is this Chris guy? Is he like? Why would she want to tell him to fuck off?
Well, because Chris Cuomo was a CNN reporter or personality,
TV host.
He was a TV host. He was brothers with Anthony Cuomo, who was
Andrew.
Sorry, I'm getting everything wrong today on the show. Everyone's holding me up today. Andrew Cuomo, who was the disgraced governor of New York, who had probably the most miraculous fall I've ever seen. Literally, Andrew Cuomo at the start of the pandemic, they were talking about him being president of the United States. He handled COVID so well. He got an Emmy Award for his news coverage, his press conferences. And within a year, he is resigning in disgrace due to multiple sex allegations against him. The Democrat infrastructure got rid of him, and they got rid of him quick. It was it was one of the most fascinating things I've seen in politics in modern day.
So it would make sense for her to want to, like, if she was faking it, this is a great way to go. And
yeah, listen, Cuomo, he's trying to rebound, right? He got just like what happened to Tucker Carlson, right? He got removed from a major platform. I don't know, you can't call CNN a major platform anymore, but he got removed from a big platform. So he's got to claw back into relevancy, and that's when you take on guests like this that can, lift you up.
Yeah.
And it makes him a prime suspect of getting punked.
I'd say that she's probably not faking it, but no matter what,
do you think she's maybe playing into it? Because maybe she's convinced herself that it's 100% real.
But then in and of itself, that's part of the disorder, right?
Maybe.
If she's
and Brad Gaines are saying the same thing. I believe she is legit. I have had some other have seen some other stories on her.
Really?
Yeah. The thing that I think is weird is how she's talking about how she gets sent death threats because of her condition and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's just what happens when enough people know who you are, right?
Oh yeah.
I've been given death threats, and I've got 300 followers on Twitch or something like that, and it's just
wait, you get death threats because of your video game?
Because I'm better at people in video games. Yeah.
Well, that actually makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that you've had your fair share of lovely haters that have colorful words.
Oh yeah, there's a big line of haters against me.
Yeah. So
All right. Well, it seems like we were believing she's true, and because otherwise, if she was acting that as a top-notch troll telling Cuomo to go F off in his friend's face, what do people think you're at home? Let's get through the comments, and then we'll sign off for the day.
Yeah, Razzle Dazzle says legit and says what she thinks. And when Dawson was asking why she may have wanted to say F off Chris, K-Wall for Life says his brother may have killed her grandma. And that could be the case. When Cuomo was the governor, he was putting all those old people in nursing homes, sick, COVID-infected people. A lot of people forget about that. That's why he really should have been removed in the first place, But the Democrats chose another issue to target him over, and it kind of exonerated him from the crime that he truly committed. So luckily, there's a lot of people like us who are, still keeping the facts straight on what really happened with Cuomo.
I so badly want to watch that South Park episode where Cartman finds out about Tourette's and he uses to his advantage until he starts actually saying things he doesn't want to say out loud. A great episode. Good old South Park. All right. Well, we pulled through and made this episode work. Definitely B game today. Putting who's it to sleep today.
Yeah.
But we appreciate all you guys for tuning in every week. Tuesday is our 98th episode. Thursday is our 99th episode. The 100th episode is coming up on Thursday. It should be Thursday. I don't think we'll be doing the day after Christmas. So it looks like we're gearing towards Thursday the 28th. Go ahead and email me, jake@actionforliberty.com. Jake at the action, the number 4, liberty.com. Let me know who you think you want to see on our 100th episode. Okay? I mean... By the way, Jesse's not certain he's going to be back for it. He's going to be traveling, seeing family, which is sad. But you know what happens here. If you're not physically in person, we got something to put on set to make seem like you are here. What were you going to say, Dawson?
I was just saying I'm going to be here.
Yeah, well, you have to be there. I don't know who else could do it. All right, anyhow, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the Rumble Rants. We'll see you on Tuesday.